Hi, it's Matt Collins, and you've landed on my podcast entitled The Kids Are All Right. Um, this was an assignment that was really meant to build and demonstrate digital media literacy. And from a production perspective, I really feel like the music and the sound effects really kind of flowed well with my voiceover here. If you've heard this podcast already, it's either because we were classmates or you are a communication student at Queen's University of Charlotte, because my professor for this particular course, Dr. Zachary White, indicated that he wanted to use this podcast as an example for other students that are taking the course. So, needless to say, I'm pretty happy about it, and this is up there as one of the projects that I'm most happy with in this program. I use the Audacity audio editing software to edit and create the podcast, and I borrowed a USB external microphone from a friend. The external microphone is just an absolute must for recording a podcast. It definitely sounds a lot better when you use one. The free editing software was really very basic, but it had enough tools to really kind of make the podcast sound how I intended it to. That program actually was very similar to a primitive music production program I used a long time ago, back when I was a teenager, to create music. So as soon as I started to test the Audacity program, the general idea came back to me, and it was really very simple to use. Um, as far as the narrative for this podcast, we continue in the news every day to see these scary stories about how a child was kidnapped by someone they met online, or kids and even grown-ups just kind of making poor decisions about what to post on social media. Um, the news media really tends to come across as somewhat alarmist when it comes to this topic, but social media has so thoroughly penetrated our existence that the information in this presentation is still extremely relevant, and I believe will be for a very, very long time, because social media is not going anywhere. It's here to stay, whether we like it or not. So take the information in the podcast below and implement it, and that way we can do what we have to do to make sure that the kids are all right. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the presentation below.